Nepal was a closed country for hundreds of years. The government did not allow missionaries in the country at all. It was a Hindu kingdom where they believed that their king was a reincarnation of their god Vishnu. And then they allowed the first, Western workers in the country in the late 1940s. By the early 1950s, there were 8 known believers in the country, and the gospel began to spread slowly, and slowly people were getting saved, so that the church has been doubling in size about every 4 years or so. Now, it's hard to say for sure, but there's probably at least 500,000 believers in the country of like 24 million people. So, there's just been phenomenal growth. When we moved to Kathmandu, we were expected to become involved in a local Nepali-speaking church. And at the time when we started going there, it was actually in what used to be a chicken coop. When we began attending on a typical Sunday morning, they may have anywhere from like 20 or 30 people there. Now they'll have usually over 100. I think the more exciting thing is they've started a church plant outside of Kathmandu in a Newari village where there was no church. I believe there were no Christians in that village, and one man got saved, and then and he allowed them to have church in his home.
पहिला चाहिँ ग्यारेजमै मैले विश्वास गर्न पाएको कारणले त्यसपछि परिवारलाई पनि प्रभुमा दोहोऱ्याउनको लागि गर्दाखेरि त्यस बिस्तारै नै घरमा सङ्गति भयो अनि त्यसपछि चर्च स्थापना.
This Nepali church is a little bit unusual because the people are very gifted musically. They really enjoy the worship time. It's very, very worshipful. In the early days, like in the 1960s, 1970s, there was tremendous persecution. I've met Nepali pastors who spent 20 years, 25 years in prison. They were tortured, some of them were killed. Now the persecution is, there's still some persecution, but they have much more freedom now to preach and proclaim the gospel.